Okay. Listen, I've had the great fortune to be around some very famous people, some of which are on the stage now, but this next cat I'm gonna call out might be the most famous person I've ever been around. Give it up for Cenat.
Oh shit, I have a big impact on the world, on people.
Well, when we were kids, obviously, I had 3 older sisters that were probably my biggest sporting inspirations, and they were all great athletes, but I saw what they did for our family. And for me to be at the ball fields my entire life growing up and going to women's softball games and women's soccer games, and I was like, that was my entire life. So it was an early age for all of us, and then the fact that we got to move on to a professional level, and then to have my kids, you know, be a part of all these incredible moments that I had, but then to experience it with you guys. I mean, look at what sports is doing for us right now. We're coming from all over the world. You guys are fans of lots of different teams, but we're all in this room together to share like a really unique moment. This is a unique moment in my life. You don't see many of these rooms full of people with this much excitement. So it's an amazing impact, not personally from the inside out, but also from the outside in. And I think the important part is for us always to, you know, hold sports to a high standard, and always, you know, as athletes, I always felt it was a responsibility to show up every day and give you guys everything I had. And I know Lebron does that. I'm sure Victor is doing that, because you guys are the reasons why we show up every day and play our ass off.
We've been all over the world, from China to all over the place, all over the world. Does it ever cease to be what sports can do and bring people together like this and people getting excited? And is that why you still play and love it?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, we've been all over the world, man. You know, I fell in love with the game because what it did to me and my friends, and what it brought us together. It kept us out the street, you know, it kept us away from home, you know, so to be able to take the game that I love and continue to inspire you guys, and continue to inspire people all over the world, it's the most ultimate thing I could ever do, and I'm always forever and always forever grateful.
Okay, wait guys, we all want to know this answer. I don't even, people ask me this question all the time, and I say, I don't know. How much longer, bro?
He was 58, so I'm saying,
Whitney.
That's so good. I'm gonna play, but like, I can't play that much further. And the more time that I play, as long as he keeps smacking my fucking shots and putting the stands, he's gonna make me retire. So.
Unbreakable. You gotta keep going, because like he's worked so hard to get to this point. Now just think of how to reach. I can't even do that.
And for you, obviously sports has brought you to a whole other country. Obviously you played around the world. By the way, remember you guys speak dollars. I thought you were gonna win that game. You guys really that was scary watching that game. Unbelievable, one of the best games I've seen. But what is it for you? What does it feel like for you to be in a whole other country playing a sport that you love, living in the city, traveling around America? What does that feel like? Are you loving it? And is it what you expected?
Yeah, it's what I expected more. Coming from Europe, basketball first class leagues here, and it's the best country here to be in by far. Obviously, it's partly the family, and my life is different from the all the top American prospects. Hey, I mean, I get this life. I'm so happy, and I know it's a sacrifice to be away from the family.
Hey Kai, I'm a little offended. They're up here talking about greatness. No one's asked you or me anything about that.
I was just with Kai. This is gonna sound really crazy. We were together 3 days ago in Cannes, and we were doing something together. He came to the back and he was like talking to me. He was cool. First time we met.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Maverick, forget all that. I'm a LeBron James. I'm in LeBron. Hey, hold on. I tried to hold it in, chat. I tried to hold it in, but hey, I'm not about to act like I'm not next to Tom Brady, LeBron James, Maverick, and Wemby. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know how I'm here right. I don't even know what's going on right now. It's like, yo, make some noise, y'all. No cap. Oh, yeah, hold on. So, y'all know I'm from New York. Yo, yeah. The best city in the world, you are. New York City. The Bronx in the building. Brooklyn in the building. Queens in the building. Staten Island in the building. Manhattan in the building. Woo!
Hey, Kyle, I want to ask you, you're the biggest streamer in the world. You've had everyone, Ron, you've basically on the stream. You've had a bunch of people to stream. I think I know the answer to this. Does this get old to you? Do you picture yourself that you're on stage with some of the greatest to ever do it?
Hell no. I just told you, I don't even know how I'm here. Like, it's like sometimes you just gotta glaze. Like, I feel like, it's just like y'all got like a nice, like, aura to y'all. Like damn, like I feel amazing. I'm just glad to be here. Like, I'm really in the barbershop with the GOATs right now, y'all. Like, I'm glazing. I don't care though. I don't care. Look, huh?
Are we in the stream right now?
Yeah, we on the street. Wait, hold on. Where my cameraman at? Yeah, we on the street. Yo, chat right there. Yup.
My mom is like, that stream is so big, my mom is watching that stream.
So, by the way, we were in the back. Tom was there, Ron was there, Bobby was there, and it was chaotic, whatever. And then this swarm came, and it almost felt unsafe. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, oh, Kai's here. Fine, he's, this lets you know the levels of just, when did you realize, Kai, that it wasn't just you in front of your camera or computer screen talking to friends? When did you realize you had a real impact and it was a much bigger thing?
To be honest, a riot happened like 3 years ago, 2023, downtown. So let me get into it. Try to do a giveaway. I thought 100 people was gonna show up. Ended up being 10,000. It was crazy. Like, that's when I knew, like, damn, like, I gotta start taking things more serious. I gotta influence. I gotta start being careful with the things I do. So, and I'm just glad to build the relationship that I got with my chat, because, like, without them, like, I'm nothing for real, like, so, like, they know everything about me. Like, we have these memories that I go through. This is gonna be a core memory right here, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. God is good. I'm grateful.
Victor, you've had, I'm sorry, yeah, I was just saying this in that perspective too for all of us, because in so many ways we still feel like the same way, right? I'm sure Ron feels this, I do too. Even though I'm almost 50 years old, I still remember the first moment where it felt big to me too. And I think that perspective for all of us keeps you so grounded. Like, you meet people, and I think for me now, when I meet all these young NFL players, one thing I always try to help them be the best they can be. Because when I was a young player, all the older guys just try to help me be the best I can be. Right? So much of life is when you achieve what you want to achieve, and how do you help other people achieve what they want to achieve. And I think the world changes, like how what he's doing and the impact he has. Well, he's impacted the world in a great way too. So life continues to change and evolve, and you learn from the people that are older from you, and then eventually you start learning from the people younger than you too, which is an amazing part. They see the journey they're on, how they're doing, and that continues to inspire you to be better. So it's amazing for me to be up here with you, with your following, all the people you got that follow you every day. My son is a big time fan.
Ooh, glaze me. Yes, Tom. Thank you, bro.
Tom, one quick question before I come to you would be, how have my Giant fans been treating up to the 10 years? They're boy. I want to hear how does it feel being you have many sons? See what I got to live with for you? And he goes right with me, but I had to make sure I beat him in the games. That's some right over him. He beat me in the big games, so, it's okay. I'm going to New York a lot. My son lives here, but you guys keep talking all your shit.
One thing I've had a up close seat is to, you know, over the years, LeBron's off-season regimen and how seriously he takes it and how he's always challenging himself to be greater and do new things, incorporate new things. You've had somewhat of an interesting summer, a non-traditional summer that hit the net recently. Talk to us about what you've been up to this off-season.
I've been around the world basically. I was just in China today for 2 weeks, practicing with the monks, you know, trying to put my body through different things that I haven't done before.
Well, you can't just casually drop practicing like the monks. Talk to us about what
Yeah, like.
I'm here, boy.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
What's it?
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Of course I am. It was a great experience. You know what? My goal going there was putting my body through things it's not used to do, you know, and allowing it to widen my range of movements and strength. And this was probably as different as possible from what I'm used to doing, you know. So cook food every day, you know. No, it was like a vegan temple, monastery. You heard of that, right? Of course. And Wu-Tang. And it was supposedly no picture were to come out because I wasn't like isolated, but hey, you know.
So let me ask you, like, what you eat for like breakfast?
He must have lost like they couldn't feed you enough over there.
So the temple is vegan, so there's no meat in there. So like breakfast 5 a.m. was like boiled zucchinis and rice noodles. So I had to get out of the temple so I make sure I didn't lose weight and actually eat some real food. But it was tough. It was an experience.
Anything to get smaller, like
They might work for you, but not for me.
Hey, welcome to the shop.
You're not ready to shave those dreads. Oh yeah, you're not dedicated like that.
Everybody has to shave their hair off, right?
Yes, it's the first thing we did literally, and it's about like, you know, Buddhism and I'm pretty sure I'm Buddhist now. I mean, they made me say something in Chinese. I'm not sure what it was. It was definitely worth it.
I want to
Design anything, did you?
I want to ask a follow-up to both Tom and LeBron. We know about your greatness. We know about championships, Super Bowls. You know, you guys are at the top. You're on anyone's Mount Rushmore. How important? You're on their Mount Rushmore, for sure. How important a role did off-season play in your careers, your off-seasons?
I think the off-season builds towards those championships. It builds to the accomplishments that you want to have throughout the course of the season. You know, I never want to put myself in a position where I came into a season unprepared. You know, so I've always used the off-season to critique my game more than anybody. You know, there's not a coach, there's not an analyst, there's not anybody in the world that can, you know, critique my game or critique the way I want to prepare better than myself. So, you know, the off-season is all about like retooling, you know, being uncomfortable like Vinny was talking about. You know, that was the most uncomfortable state you've ever been in, you know, and that's good, that's great for you, you know, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. So, you know, the off-season when I've won the 4 championships and I've had, you know, memorable seasons, whatever the case may be, and even when I've lost in championships, you know, that doesn't mean that I wasn't prepared. You know, I was always prepared, and I think it's sort of off-season.
Let me know what you think, but off-season for me is when you separate from the others, you know, when all the work was unnoticed, and it's your chance to do things others don't put in.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you know, when you're during the season, obviously you're around your guys. You guys are building towards one common goal, and that's to ultimately host the Lombardi Trophy or, you know, the Larry O'Brien Trophy. That is the goal. You know, but the all seasons where you get an opportunity to actually do more, like looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing ways that you can be better. You know, your teammates ain't with you that much in the off season. You know, you will be with them at some points throughout the off season, and you guys running around, working on timing, or you guys getting in the gym, you guys are working on things. But most of the time, you know, obviously it's been with family, you know, but also for yourself. Like you have to design yourself to how I am going to be great, and put yourself in the most simulated moments possible. So when those moments come during the season, postseason, you know, games, there's big games, 3 and 4 nights. You know, these guys play on Sunday and then have to play again on a Thursday. you know, that type of shit that you have to be able to prepare yourself in the off season for those moments?
Yeah, so I think it's so interesting for for a long time. I ended up playing 23 seasons, but when I was in college too, like I was different than LeBron. I think LeBron in a lot of ways had a lot tougher path, you know, for me because there was always such high expectations for you all the time. You know, since high school and I always admired that he held himself to such a high standard because the standard was already so high. There was a lot of times in my career people didn't expect much of me. So I had to kind of fight a different way. And what I realized for me was I had that off season. For me, I made it almost feel like it was, when I was at Michigan, for example, I'm in the off season, I made it feel like I was playing Ohio State. I really did. I had to train that way. And then when I got to the pros, like in the off season, I would go through workouts with my receivers. And we made sure the ball didn't hit the ground. So if I was throwing passes to Randy or Julian or Wes or Gronk or whoever it was, if the ball hit the ground, we had a problem. And there was almost a level of intensity because the only way to deal with the stress in the moment, I can imagine being at the free throw line, make 2 free throws to win the game and send it to overtime. And for a quarterback, it's always like that 2-minute drill. So you practice that 2-minute drill like it really meant something because you didn't want to wait for that big moment to deal with the emotions of the big moment. I always felt like I needed to deal with those emotions all the time. I did in every moment a big moment. So during the season, it was super important to practice hard and practice well because I needed all those guys that I got in the huddle with to deal with, man, this is big, man, Cody's gonna yell at me, this is gonna happen. I needed them, you know, to push them outside, like LeBron said, being uncomfortable with, you know, that being comfortable with the uncomfortable. I had to make people feel uncomfortable. I had to make myself feel uncomfortable. You don't want to have to wait till the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl to be uncomfortable. That's the moment you need to be comfortable. So if you can put yourself in that moment, like kind of in a way predating that, then you gave yourself a huge advantage. I think when I got in those big moments, I felt comfortable because all season long it was always about when we get there, we can't fail.
All right, this motherfucker ready to put on the helmet again. I'm ready to go on the huddle. I'm ready to get one time right now.
If you thought that I'll come out of time.
Hey, you and Gronk,
We were first. We'd have a hard time being
Hey, Kyle, we're talking about preparation. You played in a couple of celebrity basketball. What's your preparation been for your celebrity?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want you to prepare.
No.
You gotta be Drewski. I ain't too hard.
Before the big basketball game, you know, I get in that gym with my boy Chris Brickley, you know, I put some shots. Chris, I make sure, you know, I get my rest, you know, because I try to make sure if I have a game the next day, my chat not gonna get no stream the day before. Chat, I'm already can't stream. I gotta lock in, I gotta stay focused. I gotta get my rest in, you know, I gotta put my shots up. And all the time, like, I done get a comparison so much. Like, Kai, you play like Braun, you play like Curry, you play like... I'll be like, oh, I know it's like, before I walk in that tunnel, and I see supporters out there, I gotta stay focused. I can't let it get to my head. You know what I'm saying? I can't. But if my girl on that sideline, I'm dropping 40. Hey, if my girl on that sideline, I'm dropping 40. So, but that's how you got it. You gotta make sure you stay focused and stay locked in.
Kai, one of the things I love about you already is I know you're funny, you have fun, but you take shit serious. And when we were together, you were talking about your university, the Streamer University. So where did that feeling of responsibility and helping others, making sure you look after people, where did that come from? And what made you develop the university? Tell us about it.
So I got inspired to do Streamer University by watching Harry Potter. I was watching it, and I was like, man, this would be cool to do in real life. And I looked at it in a deeper moment and said, damn, I'm at the point where it's kind of like where the platform I shoot on is like I'm my own platform itself. So I can help somebody that's in the same lane as me that might be smaller and give them a chance to shine light. Because I feel like there's a lot of talented content creators that, everybody who ain't here that do content, that know how hard streaming really is. But I feel like the talent sometimes, like, if it's in front of the right people, it's gonna go crazy. And Streamer University was a time to bring big creators and small creators, put them in the same world under a college simulation, and get them to like learn different things on how to stream better or how to budget their money and do smarter things while they trying to become the best player that they are. And what made me happy is helping them. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, just helping somebody else out feels good. It feels great. So it's like, why not? And I just loved how that concept did work out and it did do good. So.
Hey Kai, I don't know if you realize you actually do have something in common with LeBron. You're both sending people to the University of Akron to get an education, as you are through your LRMR Foundation.
Yeah.
You are as well. So.
It's funny that you say that because I want to stop by that school. I gotta go visit. I want to go like stop by that school and say what's up to them.
Always welcome, always welcome.
For sure.
Victor, in the NBA, have you found other players, older players, being very helpful to you as you've taken this journey to becoming an NBA player?
Yeah, more and more. You know, last time I saw Bron, I told him I had some questions for him. I have a note on my phone, you know, with questions I had to ask you guys. KD, Bron. I had the chance to talk to Jokic for like 45 minutes at All-Star, so and I'm taking notes. Like when I post something, I don't forget it, and it's super precious for sure.
You have any questions for Kai? Is Kai on that list?
Yeah.
I gotta hear what Jokic shit about the advice he gave you. Because everything he's on, like, really? It's about to be different. Let me see that notebook.
I want to see that. Exactly. Tom, you still get calls from quarterbacks in the league now? You still up?
Yeah, all the time. Coaches, owners, general managers, quarterbacks, receivers. So yeah, I feel like I have a great relationship with everybody. And again, it's like, how do we keep elevating sport? And you obviously feel that way about basketball, and you're trying to help streamers. And you know, I want to continue to see football get better and better. And I think good thing about being on TV, I get to broadcast the games on Sunday, is like I get a great voice when I don't see it being done the right way. You know, and guys not playing the right way, and coaches not calling the right things, and it's a fun thing to be able to do because I think we all want to see everything continue to get better and deliver the product of football, the games getting better, the better decision making, and guys playing longer, less injuries. And I just think if you could do that, it'll continue to get better and better.
I love that. Tom, any advice you could give, to a young man at the beginning of his journey, right? You having maybe the most successful career we've ever seen in football and in sports. Any advice that you wish someone had given you at this stage in your career, Victor?
I feel like I'm, pretty bad at like advice because everyone's gonna find their own path, and in the end I did what I felt was right for me. But my journey was different. I had to take some different paths. Like how I took care of my body was a lot different than how a lot of other guys had to take care of their body. Basketball is a totally different thing than football. Like I had. Matt mentioned me being a quarterback at one point. Now I'm a lot thinner now because I used to take a lot of hits. So like I had to actually get thick for like the pounding of football because I had Aaron Donald chasing me. I'm not gonna run away from him. Hey yo, that shit hurts. You get thick? Hey, what do you think I said?
I think you said thick.
I thought you said I thick. I'm like,
no, I got hit. Yeah, yo. Zach,
let me ask you this.
This wasn't live. No.
Let me ask you this, Tom. I'm going to make an example up. Any advice for someone that maybe is contemplating retirement, that's played, let's say, I don't know, like 22 seasons in the sport, hypothetical, any advice for someone that may be in that space?
No, I could imagine because, look, I went through in many ways what he's gone through, and I think the challenge probably is less physical for him than it is probably mental and emotional. And he's got a lot of other things tearing at him, and there's business things with his children, and now that Bronny's playing, and Bryce is getting older, and he wants to be there for his family, and there's a lot of family demands. And I think the challenge about getting older as an athlete is like, for all of us, everyone here is working, and your work is really important, but so are other parts of your life too. And then you have to make a choice as an athlete, because you don't get to determine when the games are when you're a player. You got to show up and play when they tell you to play. So you miss weddings, you miss birthdays, you miss Christmases, you miss Thanksgivings, and there gets a point where you're like, okay, I just don't want to give that up anymore. To have a little bit more flexibility in your life, and I think that's what weighs on you a little bit. But there's nobody in my mind that's navigated it as good as what LeBron has.
What
he's done in basketball, in this age, with all the pressure pressure and intensity that's been on him in Olympics and, you know, the different teams that he's been on, and he's always done things the right way. He's always risen above all the noise and the BS and continued to deliver. So you're witnessing the greatest ever, and I hope you guys all appreciate that.
You know what? Like, you know what? I'ma just say it. Bro, you can't retire your game. You can't retire. I can't imagine, like, from my perspective, like, I'm 23, bro. Like, I've been been there the whole time, so like,
Literally, it's crazy.
literally weird.
Literally, you can play basketball your whole day.
It doesn't feel weird.
Well, same for Victor as well.
He was drafted before I was born.
LeBron was drafted at 12 years old.
That's how I mean.
Wow. So, Kai, how many more years you gotta play? For you? Because it's up to you, really.